Hey people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 53 of Dual Destinies. Last time, we used the mood matrix on Hugh, and we disproved his claims that he had a body double. So now we're accusing Aristotle Means of committing the murder because it was revealed that he was not in his seat during the mock trial. So without further ado, let's go. Very well. If that's all you're interested in, please proceed, Miss Sykes. We need to find some sort of evidence that shows this speech was pre-recorded. Alright, I believe we're ready. Let's roll the video. Good afternoon. I would like to start by thanking you for coming here today. The mock trial, the crown jewel event of the school festival will begin shortly. When I was a student, I too could hardly wait for this day to come. I would walk 15 miles in the rain and the sleet and the snow in order to get to school because I was a good boy. I would go to bed 9 p.m. every night and I would wake up at 6 a.m. every morning. I would then eat a hearty breakfast of a muffin and an egg, and then I would head to school. Of course, my homework assignments were completed on time and in duplicate, for why learn something once when you can learn it twice? Oh no, I forgot how long and boring your speech is. Oh no, now it's getting to my last tax returns. And let me tell you about my taxes. I went to the H&R Block in order to get my taxes done, for they are reputable. And of course, I told them all of my income for the year, and all of my accounts, and all of my charitable contributions. Wake me up once this is over. Hey, no fair! Athena, you've made your bed. Now lie in it. The experiences of our youth have a powerful and profound effect on our adults. Ah, you there! Wake up! Pay attention. Huh? Eek! I'm awake! Isn't that right, Your Honor? What? I'm awake too! Wide awake, see? No, not the rapping pirates. I won't go back to that case. No, the orca did it. Just please, just arrest the orca, arrest Sasha, arrest someone. Just get me out of here. Once again, our pure white lady justice will be watching over all of you today. Pay attention and you may make a difference one day. Now, let the mock trial begin! That is about it. One of my better speeches, if I do say so myself. I especially like the part where I one time saw a deer. It was a magical experience, an enriching experience that emboldened my worldviews and gave me a new lease on life. I even saw some of our students with tears in their eyes. He's obviously not familiar with the phrase bored to tears. Listen, Sykes Dono, if you have subjected me to this epic study and tedium without purpose, Taka will feast on your tongue after I cut it out. Eek! But you were asleep the whole time! Yes, and it haunted my dreams. Ugh, I swear, I was having that nightmare where at the worst it's constantly best for me to watch Corey in the house with him. And everyone's in agreement about that it's an anime, even though it's not, and all the while in the background I'm hearing that speech. Well, Miss Sykes, did you notice anything strange about that speech? Could I please hear that last part again? Once again, our pure white lady justice will be watching over all of you today. There! I finally found what was needed. Professor Means, I have only one question about your speech. Why does the last part we just heard contradict with this? With girl walking to the right.
Take that!
The professor said the pure white lady justice will be watching over them, but the lady justice in the video isn't even close to being white. It's as gold can be. I'm not sure I can wrap my jaw around that to testify its authenticity, but I didn't say it was made of gold, Your Honor. Now, it's true that this statue is pure white. but it broke after the mock trial began. The one you see here is its replacement. Oh well, that's a shame on every count. Ironically, this golden statue sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the white one, meaning the professor wouldn't have made a mistake in its color if he'd been present. It seems that I have caused some confusion, but it was merely an oversight on my part.
Objection!
This statue was in the middle of the room. How could you not know what it looked like? Well, I was in the balcony seat. Furthermore, the statue had previously been white. I'm afraid this isn't sufficient evidence of the speech being pre-recorded. We had our answer long ago. The accused was the only one to leave the lecture hall. No, wait! There's gotta be something that can prove that this speech was pre-recorded. According to the mock trial video, the speech started here and ended here. It was a little over 10 minutes, but I doubt anyone wants to be tortured again. It was only a little over 10 minutes? It felt like it went on forever. How'd you figure out how long it was? Easy! There's a timestamp in the top right. All you have to do is subtract the time the speech started from the time it ended. The speech goes from 10-minute mark to 20:35. Wait a second. Apollo! That's 10 minutes and 35 seconds. That's actually closer to 11 minutes than 10. You're a liar. You heard a Fulbright. Send Justice Dono to the jail. He lied to us. No, wait, no! I could swear I've seen this time interval of time listed among the evidence. Maybe there's a way for me to use the speech time to show when it was recorded. Sorry. I'm having a bit of a brain fart right now. Okay. Oh, right, yeah. Tape recorder. The speech was recorded, and my proof is right here. I'm sure of it mentally, physically, psychologically, you name it. You're sure? Huh? Oh, well, yes, I'm sure. I think. Perhaps this penalty will help you make your case with more conviction. Let's see. This speech took a total of 10 minutes and 35 seconds. 10:35. Where have I seen that number before? Yeah, now I'm dealing with a bit of a brain fart, to be honest. Okay. Yeah, having lots of fun here. Okay. Oh, right.
Take that!
Yeah, I knew it was something involving the tape recorder. I would like the court to take a look at this. And this is? The voice print analysis that proves the voice on the tape recorder belongs to our client. Yes, but didn't we just establish that the voice on the tape recorder was a fabrication? We did, but what I'd like to focus on is the noise that is also there. Noise? Yes, the defense believes it resulted when the tape's previous recording was erased. And what do you hope to prove by that? The length of the noise is what's important. It's 10 minutes and 35 seconds in all. And what did the timestamp read at the moment Professor Means began his script? That would be exactly 10 o'clock. Now let's fast forward this long-winded exercise in boredom to the end. Okay, stop. The video timestamp now reads 20:35. Based on this, we know the time it took for the speech alone. Right, subtract 10 minutes and you get 10:35. 10 minutes and 35 seconds. Right, 10 minutes and 35 seconds. The same as the noise on the tape recording. I assume you all understand what this means? Professor Means' pre-recorded speech had been where this noise is now.
Silence.
You seem rather confident considering this is a mere hapstance match of numbers.
Objection!
But it really is just was it really just numbers? The lab is continuing their study of the tape. So far, they've found signs of overdubbing, but it's going to take a bit longer to recover the audio that was erased. Yeah, and then meanwhile, Emma's the one who's doing all the work on the audio analysis. Kevin, what are you doing? what? Not having fun, Fraulein Detective? It's a 10-minute speech! It's so boring! Oh, come on, Fraulein Detective. It can't be that bad. You listen to it! Listen to it! He's talking about how he took a walk yesterday and the sun got in his eyes! The sun was quite bright, but the sky was a bright blue. It balanced out. I saw a cloud, and there was a bird. And then I proceeded to walk 2 steps, and then there was some grass growing in the concrete of the sidewalk. It inspired me. It made me think of how resilient our system is. How even if you stomp on it with your foot, it will spring back. It won't be long until we know what was originally there. Now that I'm sure of it, the professor was trying to create an alibi with the recording by pinning the crime on Junie. Well, he's not going to get away with it. Not on my watch. Miss Sykes, I believe you are well aware of my methodology. Even if Juniper were the perpetrator, I would vigorously defend her as per my word. And to that purpose, I offered to be her lawyer. Alas, look what's happened. First we had that "you're a goner" debacle from yesterday, and now we get this. We get my glorious speech, where I talked about how I one time pet a puppy. It is now being dragged through the mud, all in your desperate attempt to get the outcome you desire. You should be ashamed of yourself. All I've stated are obvious deductions derived from evidence and testimony. Truth be told, I had no intention of testifying. I had been keeping quiet for Juniper's sake. But now that you cast this blame upon me and my glorious speech that detailed my colonoscopy exam from last month and how I was a trooper with fortitude unrivaled by any before me, you have shamed me, and now I shall strike you down with my fury. But now that you cast this blame upon me, I have no choice but to reveal the truth. And darn it, CzarThwomp! Why are you flubbing my lines? I'm not Samugi. Uh-oh, this doesn't sound good. I will now reveal the truth behind why I had to pre-record my speech before the mock trial. I, Professor Means, always say what I mean, and mean what I say, by all means. Professor Means' testimony. The defendant came to me with what she said was very important, and by necessity, secret. She asked me to pre-record my speech and come to the audio room during the mock trial. Juniper confessed to me the murder and asked that I get her declared innocent in court. She also said I'd become an accomplice after losing my alibi due to the pre-recording. But when I said I would protect Juniper, I meant it because it's the humane thing to do. Oh my! So you're saying the defendant threatened you? This has to be a lie! I mean, everything about it lines up too perfectly to be true. Not to mention, have you seen Junie? I know! Junie couldn't threaten a fly! On this most consequential of occasions, let me be completely frank with you. Juniper has truly taken to heart my teachings that state the end justifies the means. I don't believe you. When she asked me to defend her, she said I must also prove her 2 friends innocent. Her 2 friends? The witnesses? Correct, Hugh O'Connor and Robin Newman. I was to ensure all 3 walked free. All 3 were to achieve their dream. That was the result Juniper was seeking. And she was even willing to threaten me, her own professor, to that end. She pulled out a crowbar, and she was threatening to break my knees. I begged her to not do it. I begged her to show mercy, but with a cackle and a gleam of malicious intent in her eyes, she just grinned at me. She just grinned, and she was brandishing that crowbar. She was just brandishing her her left eye was twitching, and then she walked over to me, and she slammed it in my left knee. I screamed out in pain, but the glorious soundproof walls of our wonderful audio room, it blocked out my screams of terror. And then she asked me again, would I defend her friends and her? I had then, in an act of rationality, I had to lower my blade, and I agreed. It pained me to do so, but what am I going to do? She had the crowbar.
You no doubt had high praise for her ruthless tactics.
Yes, well, that is why I vowed to rigorously defend her despite her threatening me. There was a time when lawyers merely sought the truth if they wished for victory in courts. But then all that died when Sebastian DeBest and Hugh O'Connor first enrolled in our school, at which point I felt, why even try? But alas, those days are over. Now, in the defense of justice, order, and all that is good, the end justifies the means.
I am so sick of hearing that phrase. It's like hearing despair in a Danganronpa game.
Though it truly grieves me so, I must tell you this. Forsake the truth if it's victory you seek. Steel yourself for this new courtroom reality.
That does it. He's gonna regret dragging those dismal, depressing ideas in here. Since he's already surrendered to the dark age of the law, it's up to me to fight it. Why so silent, Sykes Dunu? Something the matter? This is a court of law. It's no place for long-winded talks about idealistic principles. That's why I'm gonna let the evidence do the talking.
Let's not get carried away now, Miss Sykes. It will not do to have you attempting to discredit my doctrine. Do not force me to rectify this situation. I will give you the speech to end all speeches. I will filibuster this courtroom until everyone begs for mercy. No one will be allowed to leave. And then Aristotle just walks over to the door, and he just slams his spear right into the door. Now no one's leaving. Now allow for me to tell you my ideas. They first started when I was about a boy.
No, go ahead and rectify. Only if I lose and you win, that is.
Professor Bean's testimony.
Hold it!
I got a client would come to, Darn it, CzarThwomp, stop moving my lines. I got a client would have come to you with something like that.
You have a point there. If only Professor Court had been alive, I suspect Juniper would have gone to her instead.
So, a client came to talk to you after Professor Court was dead?
Let's go through this step by step, shall we? First, Juniper came to me that day.
Hold it!
Are you suggesting it was our client who told you to fake an alibi?
You have every reason to be surprised. I, too, was shocked when she told me that. And then I was even more shocked when she threatened to burn my house down. She had my address, she had a picture of my dog, and she was saying, you know what? It would be a real shame if something was to happen to little Fido. And I said, no, not little Fido.
Fido, why would you name your dog that?
Excuse me for choosing a classic dog name that is both whimsical and utilitarian. Hey, it's at least better than Prosecutor Blackwell's name for his hawk. Taka is a reasonable name! It is literally hawk. You have no creativity, sir. Good day. Simply put, Juniper has a secret that she wished to protect that badly.
Is she kidding me? That lie couldn't be further from the truth. That problem is, how am I going to expose it?
It was an earnest request from an outstanding student. How could I possibly have refused?
Hold it!
Did you consider that a threat?
Yes, but it's now you to whom she has passed her demands on to. Miss Sykes, you must realize that you too are being used by Juniper.
What?
Your Honor, I ask that you too do not let her feigned weakness and innocence fool you. That girl is 5 shades of crazy. Have you ever seen the inside of her room? It is a literal horror show. You know Mr. Justice over there? Well, apparently, Juniper has had feelings for him for quite some time. She has some beautiful minds as corkboard in her room. A bunch of pictures of Apollo are up on it, along with locations and red string. It is truly a sight to behold. I shivered in terror the first time I saw it. Juniper Woods is quite clever and extremely tough. I one time saw her punch a crossing guard for looking at her funny. And perhaps more importantly of all, she is a fervent follower of my teachings.
Objection!
Your Honor, the witness's testimony is nothing but an attack on our client's character.
Very well. Objection sustained. So be it. Nevertheless, the fact that she threatened me is immutable.
Hold it!
How can you overlook such a threat? As a teacher, it's your duty to discipline students.
Yes, well, perhaps I do have some serious reflection to do on this matter. I suppose it was just wishful thinking on my part. I wanted to believe that Juniper hadn't actually committed murder, and that she hadn't meant to threaten me. Really? Please do explain. Long had I waited for a student who would embody my teachings. Does the witness realize what he's saying? Surely you must see the true meaning in my words. I am merely staying true to what I teach, and my methods are but a reflection of the times. Oh wow! His way of thinking has really worked, but I haven't heard of any inconsistencies yet.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Really?
The more he tries to avoid logical inconsistencies in his testimony, the more likely we'll see inconsistencies between his actions and his words.
It is a dark age in which we live. There is much I would like to say on that matter.
Hold it!
You were trying to protect our client? Yeah, right. He'll say anything to pin the blame on Junie.
What a frightful look. I would ask that you not glare at me so. I have nothing but admiration for how Juniper was willing to go so far as to threaten me. That is why I am protecting her by any means possible. She has been a model student. Sure, she slashed my tires, and sure she put that pipe bomb in my car's tailpipe. But all in all, that's water under the bridge.
Liar! You're trying to bring the blame on her? And if Junie was using a pipe bomb, she'd be a lot more inconspicuous. Junie is subtle and nuanced. How am I going to show that what he's saying isn't what he's really thinking?
You cannot possibly overturn my claims, so isn't it about time you admit defeat? After all, if my unassailable logic is not true, then what is?
If he thinks I'm going to give in to his pack of lies, he's got another thing coming. I'm going to find a hole in his story if it's the last thing I do.
Even though he's rotten to the core, he's a total pro. I mean, that all made perfect sense.
Yeah, but you can't believe what he says. He's making this up as he goes along. He'll trip up on his own words yet. Time to see how consistently the professor's testimony matches up with his actual actions.
Okay, anyways, go over here and present the tape recorder.
Objection!
So let me get this straight. You were trying to help Miss Woods? We'll answer that in the next episode, because I think that now would be a good time to end things off. Anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do as they want. But I'll see you next time. Bye.